Television Ideas. Television Ideas is a program that explores ideas and concepts in the following areas: psychology, parapsychology, consciousness, ESP, dreams, spirituality, healing, creativity, quantum physics, business, wealth, and the Word of God. As you know, I always love to invite people that are unique and different. And the title of this show is Similar Yet Distinctively, Uniquely Different. And I do hope that Joey can write those words for us. So Joey, I'll repeat it. Similar yet distinctively, uniquely different. And why did I call this show that? Because my friend Nesha is with me. Nesha is a producer of her own show. The name of her shows are Dream Dancer, Oracle of the Arts, right here at QPTV Queens, New York. And she's not only is she a producer, she's also a director, documentary, and an actor. Nesha is also known as a dream dancer. You won't see her dancing today, but she does dance, and is a multi-dimensional artist. She has evolved in the arts from an early age to immersing herself in all aspects of the fine arts: painting, illustration, linoleum cuts, I've done that, etching, and sculpture. We will see some of her work in a little while. It's a shame that she didn't bring everything with her. She's also a versatile writer and poet, and we will have the honor of hearing her poetry in a little bit. She's also involved in music through song. She writes lyrics, plays the piano. Her dance is a sacred part of her milieu. Nesha Fantasy stands as an example to others, as a mentor and way shower to be creative. She encourages others to follow her footpath and explore their gifts and talents. Please welcome with me Nesha. Hey, Nesha.
Hi, Matilda.
Oh, I'm glad to see you.
Thank you for inviting me to your show today.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. She's so talented, so very talented. And I know that you have some pictures with you, but
Yes.
Before we show some of your pictures, tell me a little bit about your story beside the bio.
Well, my story is a passion for art. And from a very early age, I have followed the pathway of artistic expression. And my goal, my mission is to share with others how you can evolve also and find your creative gifts and talents. And I'm so happy to be able to share with your audience today. Yes, I am a multi-dimensional artist. That means that I'm into art, visual arts, writing, music, dance, and I also do film work. One can be a multi-dimensional artist if they're great at cooking, directing, decorating, creating clothing, beautiful clothing, sets for the theater. All of this is a similarity. Wouldn't you say so?
Definitely. Many times when I have a show that you're not in it, so I always invite people, and I'll say, do you sing, dance, play an instrument? Do you cook? Are you computer savvy? Do you design websites? Are you a painter, an artist, or even painting a wall? Often, anything that you do and you love it and you do it well, that's your talent, that's your creativity, that's your gift to humanity. So yes, of course, I agree 100%. But this fascinated me, the fact that you're a dancer, a sacred part of your life you devote to dancing.
Well, the line of dance that I follow, and it took a while. Like artistic creativity is a process, and one expands. And as more you devote yourself to your passion for art, the more things open up, and you may decide to walk down a different route, a different road. because it's it's almost a cosmic, like in quantum physics, where there's just, it's like sort of like quantum physics, where you're going to put your attention, but you're still bringing yourself, your talent, and the same process for any art form. So now dance goes back, sacred dance goes back to the roots of the Egyptian temple dancers. In Hawaii, there were temple dancers. In most ancient cultures, there were temple dancers. And this expresses the spirituality through the dance, which imparts an energy, because of course energy is everywhere, within everything, and we want to send out, obviously Matilda and I are sending out to you the most positive vibes right now. And so through the dance, you're expressing through your soul energy, and that energy is a transmission to the viewer.
Okay. So when we were talking a little before the show began, I used to do drumming out in Patchogue. There's a group of women and men also, and they drum. And it's fascinating to hear the drums all at the same time. It's it makes you vibrate, and you feel it. You feel the sound traveling through space, and it affects your body.
Yes, inside, even inside the cranium, there's a hollowness that can expand, and also, of course, the drum is like the heartbeat. It's like, in a way, like the Mother Earth or the Mother, because the drum comes from a natural products of the earth, and we feel the drum. And one wonderful thing about dance and many creative projects and processes is that when you're dancing, your mind shuts off. Most people are in their logical mind. Now, creativity is not really a logical process. You need to know what kind of paints you're going to use, your paint box. You need to bring everything together that you need, a clay or whatever. But then, once you have everything together, you're going to shut off that logical mind, and you're going to be intuitive and inspirational, and listen to your own heartbeat, which is like the drum, I guess, stimulates that heartbeat. It stimulates the soul. It stimulates your essence, and you want to be in that very essence state, that state of knowing, and then you will know. You will feel the color, the shapes, the symbols, and you will be inspired to do your best creative work, even if it means adding a little bit of basil to your tomato sauce.
That's good. That's a good comparison. As you were speaking, so we know, oh no, so we'll just have to ignore it.
Oh, I hear yourself. I hear
That's-
music.
you
I
hear
hear
music.
music.
Yes, it's music.
This is not
It's
apropos.
the music from the phone.
It's lovely.
I am sorry. So what happens is that when we're in that creative mode, we're really operating from the right side of the brain, because as you know, we have the right and the left hemisphere, and also the hindbrain. So we go automatically, we go into the right brain, and that's the creative part. And it's so wonderful. As you were speaking, I could see myself dancing, but I was dancing in another realm, so to speak, because I wasn't dancing here on Earth. Perhaps it was Earth, but a different dimension of
You're
Earth.
very deep.
But you also made me think of when I was doing the drumming with the group of women. That's wonderful. And when you were sharing about the dancing, there are some churches that have dancers, but they call it spiritual. I guess dancing in the spirit, I guess you would call that. And that's very interesting that you should be involved with that. There's something that I want to address when you say that you're a poet, and I know that you brought some poetry with you. I have a question. Have you written acrostics ever? Okay, so an acrostic is, okay, the name Nesha. So let's say I want to write a poem about you, and I begin the poem with the letter N, then I follow with E, then S, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't want to get into that. I would love to hear your poems.
Well, do we want to look at the art clips first?
Oh, okay.
And then we'll move
That's
on
good.
to writing and poetry.
All right, so,
And
so
then you're going
Joey.
to talk about your poetry, right?
No, I'll talk about you. This is for you. Joey, so you have some clips. Oh, there we go.
Thank
Now she'll
you.
take a look.
Yes, this is a early process of my black and white art. This is an early work. And from this, many things evolved. This is an angel. I like to do portraits of angels, and I add the symbolism. You know, she's flying, but there's still flowers up there with her and stuff like that. Like could be clouds. And this is spacey. It's also maybe futuristic or very, very far back in the past. I'm not sure which.
Okay. Oh, look at this. Okay.
And I like, you know, this is expressive, lady with feeling. I mean, I like to put some feeling into it, and you could see that she's kind of happy. And
Okay.
I have a few like that. She's reacting. I think she has a reaction of kind of, wow, what's going on there?
Where did you study?
And this is a lady with golden earrings.
Oh my gosh, I had a pair of silver earrings that shaped like that many, many years ago. She looks a little gypsy. Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now this is I'm really into Egyptian art, and this was inspired by Egypt. But you know, I'm into color and symbols, so I threw it all together. This was actually a marker, and this is sort of a reversal of the colors of the other one.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
What did you do in order to reverse? Did you Xerox it, or did you just?
Yeah, it was a process.
Okay.
Of the modern age, and this is a quetzal bird from South America. I really love birds. And the following one is an owl, black and white. I did have an owl, because I do a lot of bird illustrations.
Mm-hmm.
This is an old portrait taken after a Raphael painting. This is a watercolor study I did, and this was imaginative, illumined consciousness person.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope you enjoyed these.
Oh, how wonderful! Where did
Little
you study?
sampling. Well, I did go to the Art Students League, and I know you went to the Art Students League.
Yes, we did.
when
What
I
year?
was
What year did you go?
When I was younger.
How about?
I was
What year?
I think not even a teenager.
Really?
My parents encouraged me, and then I went to the High School of Music and Art, which I think is now the Performing Arts, and I did some time at the School of Visual Arts.
Also.
Yeah, and now I'm into my gold phase. I do a lot of symbols, and I like to work with gold.
So you have a gold
Gold
color
paint.
jacket
Yeah,
and gold colored
I'm
nail polish.
representative.
Yes,
of
I
my
see
work.
that. You're very, very representative of the gold age. That reminds me, Picasso went through his blue phase.
Yes, that was a great phase. I
That
don't know
was-
why he left it, but
Well,
he
because
had to.
he had to. He was depressed, and he came out of it. Fortunately, he did. It's interesting how we go through these phases, and we're fortunate that we're able to express it either in paint, color, words, poetry. Oh, talking about poetry.
Yes, I just want to remind the viewer that all you really need is a pen and a paper. You could use crayons, magic markers. You don't have to have a big art studio or a lot of space to do some art. It's very therapeutic, and it helps you to de-stress as well. So it's something you can explore at the very, let's say the 99-cent stores, and you can really set yourself up well and get going with your art.
You know, you just reminded me, Joey, that's my director, our director, my friend, and Jonathan and Renee is back there. But Joey just offered me paper. And as soon as he said paper, I said, oh, I love paper. But I also love pens. Look, I'm always,
Right.
yeah. What happens is when you,
Got pens too.
oh, I'm so happy. Give me pens.
We have all the
And-
supplies we need today.
And John Collins, you know, I'll say to him, "Oh, John, do you have a pen?" He says, "No, because you don't return them." It's something with paper. It's amazing. I just love paper because it holds. It's my canvas when I'm writing poetry. So yes, and it's so true what you said, Nesha, that you need so very little. In the 99-cent store, you can pick up brushes or paper or, well, they don't have canvas there, but you can stretch your own canvas if you need to save a few dollars or buy them elsewhere. I used to stretch my own canvas because at that time I was a student.
On a rare occasion, you can find canvas at a 99-cent store.
On
I have
s-
found it once.
Really?
Once.
Yeah, but they're not 99 cents anymore. Am I correct? They're probably at the
99 cents when I found it.
really. Yeah, let me tell you, it's
They have art books there.
uh-huh. If you find a place, the only place I know is Michael's, where you can buy the corners, you know, the frame, so to speak, and you can, I think you can stretch your own canvas. I haven't seen the roll. I used to buy it by the roll because it was cheaper. And
You're really into art. You're also a multidimensional artist.
yes,
Painting, writing, poetry.
yes, I'm into mandalas. I draw.
Mandalas.
Yes,
Wow.
I paint mandalas. Fascinating, because what you do is something similar to what you did, except that what I do is I draw one big picture just in black and white. Then I'll Xerox that one, and then I add different colors to it, so it gives me variety. Because I'm never satisfied with just one. I
That's
have
a
to
circle.
produce.
That's a circular mandala.
Well, yes, you can begin with a circle. You can begin with a square,
Oh, really?
and then draw the circle within it.
Uh-huh.
And the poetry that I do, I can do free, free flowing poetry, but I also do acrostics. With you, you have some poems that I would love to hear.
Yeah, I've been a lifelong devotee of poetry, and recently, the last few years, I've deeply gotten into poetry. I almost chronicle everything in poetry now, and I also feel poetry is a lost art. It goes back as far as humanity, and I feel that there's such a power and energy in poetry. If you were to write some poems, you would set a better future for yourself. Like, it opens things up. Poetry is a great power, and as you can even see in rap, poetry is a very, very strong energy, and used in a certain way, I believe it opens up your life and it will make your life better. So I have two poems I would like to share, if I may.
Let me tell you, I'm just looking at your penmanship, and it is so right on. I don't know if you studied calligraphy. Did you? I did. I studied
little bit.
calligraphy.
Not-
And there's
Ah.
something about people that are writers, for whatever reason, their penmanship, their writing is so different. So that's why I wanted to look at it. It's so beautiful. Yes.
You give me a reading later.
Go ahead.
Tell
Go
me-
right ahead.
Tell me about my personality.
Oh, through your writing? Oh, boy.
So this is called Dream Temple. It's about creating your life using your dreams, setting high dreams for yourself. Dream Temple, the temple of your dreams. It flicks from scene to scene, deep within the hidden brain, housing your imagination. Contact a force beyond the known, entering in as imagination grows, playing like shadows upon the wall, amorphous figures, one and all. Palpitate in remorseful strata, springing truth from you to matter. The causation creates, life evolves from dream. Immerse into the dream stream. The thread-like liquid flows, sweet dreams, crackling creation, color, form, magic, special effects.
Love that. I just got transported into that poem. Yeah, it's you talk about the dream. I do dream work. So many times when I finish doing a piece of work on dream, deciphering and decoding and discerning what the message in the dream. So I'll get inspired and I'll write a poem. But the poem came from that dream, not directly, but indirectly as I was working with it. It yielded something more. So that's wonderful. And
That's what I was attempting to say, to convey.
Uh-huh.
Is that you were inspired by the dream to write the poem,
Right.
something more came of it. And in our lives, if you want more to come of your life, write some poetry about what you're experiencing and what you hope to experience and what you feel, and things will open up more for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you will attract better things.
And on that note, before you go on to your next poem, I also do meditations. I used to give workshops at home, and I invite the people to go into meditation and then simply to come up ever so slightly, not fully awake. So they're still riding in the stream of consciousness. So they open their eyes just enough to be able to focus on the paper, and they write. And then when we finish that workshop, then I bring them fully out of the meditation, and I ask them to share. And they are so surprised at what they wrote, because what they wrote came from a deeper part of themselves, and so they're so unaware of the knowledge that they were able to extract and put it on paper, and they're amazed. And I'm amazed at what happens with me as well. You're tapping a part of the unconscious, because you're in meditation, you've gone under, so to speak. And so you know things that you're not fully aware when you're conscious. So it surprises you. Wow, that was inside of me. And so beautifully phrased, not from the intellect, because that's different. That's totally different. But when it comes from the heart area, it's very simple, and it's a truth, and you become aware of it. The interesting thing is that it was always inside of you, but you needed to access it. And so when I do workshops on consciousness racing, that's one of the things that takes place. The people become aware that they know things that when they're fully out here, they did not know they knew. It's amazing. It's a process.
It's a good process for the viewer to possibly they could go into a meditation and tune in and see what they're writing, or would that be like automatic writing in a way?
Okay, automatic writing.
Is that different?
No, it's still the same. It's just that, it's still the same in that you're in a trance-like state. But you know something, people are so afraid of the word trance or even the word meditation, and yet we go in and out all the time. Sometimes you're driving on the expressway and you miss your exit. Why? Because at that moment you were not fully conscious 100%. You were elsewhere in your mind. Your body is here, obviously, but have you ever been thinking of something and you feel you're immersed in that something, that place, with that person? Well, you're already in trance. And you can go in, and we do. It has been proven scientifically that we go in and out of trance. And it's nothing to be afraid of. It happens to all of us practically all the time. Automatic writing, you place yourself again in trance and you begin to write. That's slightly, since it's trance, it's meditative. When I do meditation work, so I put the person under. I ask them to come up just enough to be able to guide the writing on a page. They're not fully aware what's going to come. They're not fully aware of the next word or the next sentence. They're not. That's why they're in awe. I wrote that. That came out of me. Because it bypasses the intellect. They're reaching another stream of consciousness. It's not intellectual.
It's possible with your description that the viewer could attempt to do the same by going into a meditative or quiet state and just seeing, not thinking,
Not
just letting
thinking.
the inspiration come out,
Right,
and
not
see
thinking.
see what you could write.
But some people, there's a word of caution here, because you can go very deeply, and there are some people that should not go that deep. When I'm asked to put someone in meditation, for whatever reason, they may want something so mundane as stopping smoking or eating, or something that they want to get rid of. So you put them in a trance, and we access what the real problem is, because usually the presenting problem is not the problem. So, but there are some people that I hesitate to bring them too deeply. It's not wise in their case, and I don't. I just relax them. But to continue, you have another poem.
Yes. In the creative mind, I turn fortuitously to narrow down the spectrum of light waves and collect a juxtaposed positioning of special scenescapes, wavering creative patterns in my creative mind.
Okay, I notice you don't have a title for that one.
Yes, I really don't have a title for it.
Okay, I see that. But that's quite all right. Have you ever noticed that you begin to write, and when you finish, then the title comes?
Well, it could
has
be
that happened?
the creative mind. I don't know.
Because that happens to me. In the creative mind, I turn fortuitously to narrow down the spectrum of light waves and collect a juxtapositioning of special scenescapes running creative patterns in my creative mind.
Sort of the
Okay.
describing the essence of creating.
Now,
something.
this was longer. You
No,
tore it. No?
It's just it's a photocopy. That's why.
Oh.
It's a short poem.
Oh,
and
okay.
It gets a short piece of paper, the lovely paper that you love, and it's just
You don't waste
a
paper?
rectangle.
I don't waste paper. Sometimes when I write something and
So thank you for allowing me to share
Oh.
again.
my pleasure.